This is just my opinion.
I'm a filmmaker.
Are you guys videographers?
Who cares?
Hey everybody, welcome to the Village Films podcast. My name is Caleb, and as always, I'm joined by David. And today we are excited to have probably one of the most interesting content creators out there. He's literally a real life treasure hunter. Welcome to the show, Jake Kohler.
Thank you, man. Thank you guys so much for having me and telling my story. I really appreciate it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Appreciate you coming on. So just to give a little bit of background and context for our listeners, and this is the part that I'm reading because I just want to make sure I get all this right. Jake Kohler, a.k.a. Scuba Jake, a.k.a. DALLMYD, is the creator behind the massively popular YouTube channel DALLMYD. Since 2015, Jake has captivated millions by diving into rivers, lakes, and oceans to recover everything from lost iPhones and wedding rings to firearms and even human remains. Yeah. Beyond the jaw-dropping finds, he's built a legacy of returning valuables to their owners, partnering with authorities, and promoting environmental cleanup, all while turning his passion into a global movement. From gamer to full-time underwater adventurer, Jake's story is as wild as the treasures he finds. How accurate was that thing?
Really good, man.
ChatGPT did some of it. Okay,
I got
some of it. I helped it. Okay. Just some of the social numbers, which I don't know how much this matters, but I mean, this is pretty impressive, dude. You got almost 14 million subscribers.
That's awesome.
Thank you. And you've been doing it for about 10 years now?
Yeah, I started the channel in 2011, and I really didn't hit. I had 200,000 subscribers before we started treasure hunting. You know, I was a gamer at first, and then it really didn't kind of like start ticking, and I really didn't see that like subscriber count increasing until I moved here from California, and I was kind of tapping into that treasure hunting world. And treasure hunting, you know, if you're new, it's literally just me with a pair of goggles in the river, and I find just all types of stuff. It can be bad stuff. It could be people's fishing lures. At the time, I didn't have a lot of money, and I would go out in the river, and I would just find the lures that I would lose, and then I'd find other people's lures so I can make videos of, you know, me fishing after like some of my gaming stuff, and it kind of just naturally trickled into me finding stuff full time. But I remember the first day I went underwater, and it was like opening my eyes to a world I never knew existed. Like the size of this table underwater, there'd be like 50 lures. And for someone who didn't have a lot of money, I was like, dang, you know, like I'm just bagging them. And they're so rusty, but it really, you know, I found someone's phone, and then I gave that back to him. I was like, we should give that back. And it was really cool to see that reaction. And you know, I never filmed it to make a video for, you know, I was just documenting it and looking at adventures. Like I didn't think it was just going to, you know, take off on views or anything. I just did it for fun. And then I found a gun, and that video went really viral, and I handed that over to the police, and that, like those two videos really just pushed a wave on the channel. And then from there, we just kind of continued with our treasure hunting, and it's been fun trying to reinvent it every year. But it all started because I didn't have money, and I was just going out in the river.
A lot of great things start that way.
Yeah.
Just to go back a little bit, well, maybe we can get into that later. But
I go on a rant sometimes.
No,
so
dude,
I just
good.
try to give you these talking points so you can clip it. You just cut me off anytime.
Clip that, chat.
Chat.
I will dive more into the YouTube stuff, but I kind of maybe first off, I just wanted to do like some quick rapid fire questions, like short answers, like one sentence, one word. So tell us your favorite movie of all time.
Favorite movie? Well, shoot, I don't know if I have one.
Only one.
On the
I
spot.
do.
Hard.
I'll say two. The name DALLMYD, my channel, came from Bruce Almighty, the DVD. I was looking in my room when I was a kid, and I was like, Almighty, such a cool name, you know, but obviously it's taken in the world of gamer tags. Like that's just a proper one-worded name. So I was like, what's it sound like? And then I just spelt out, you know, like the Almighty. That's how I came up with my channel. So it's like the Almighty God.
Nice.
So that was cool. But I really like White Chicks too. White Chicks movie is pretty funny. It's classic.
Dude, solid movies, bro.
Just watched that the other day. That we
Dude,
watch that at
cracks
least
me up.
once a year.
I just
dude.
love
I
it.
need
So
to watch
funny.
that. David asked me the other day if I've seen it. I haven't seen
Dude,
it.
Terry Crews hilarious in that movie.
Yeah,
He's
I
good. He's
just
so
saw him
funny.
the other day too, I think, online, and it reminded me of White Chicks, the movie. So that's probably why I even said it. But it's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
Dude, the Almighty, I didn't know that. Okay, so who's a YouTuber that inspired you the most since you started, or even before you started? Like, who are you looking up to?
You know, to be honest with you guys, I really want to be a part of like an organization, like a team. I was making videos in my room all the time, and it sounds sad, but you know, you're chasing this dream. I'm just by myself all the time. Before I found the treasure hunting world, And at that time, I was making gaming videos. I was playing Call of Duty. I was sniping. So I really wanted to be a part of an organization called FaZe Clan. And it's just a bunch of guys together. Sometimes they live together and they make videos. And I just thought that was super cool. I chased after that. And, they inspired me to maybe try to maybe push for that. But to be honest with you, I never really hung out with too many YouTubers. I just found myself in the river by myself, and then I met my friends and I brought them up with me. But throughout the years, I have met people. I do look up to people. I look up to people who are doing things like I'm doing, but maybe bigger and better, if that makes sense. Because I think what I do is a ton of fun, and it's cool to see someone else winning in that space too. Like maybe a name drop would be Carl Allen. He's a billionaire in the Bahamas, and he's a treasure hunter like myself.
Dang.
But he
that's
looks for
awesome.
real treasure, and it's cool to see someone literally like he's like me, but with $1 billion. And I'm like, dang, I would have a submarine too, or whatever it may be.
Have
Like
you
he's-
met up with him and tried to do like a treasure hunt?
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff?
He took me on a treasure hunt. It's
dang.
funny because I drove all the way down to the Treasure Coast. No one knows this either. And yeah, Carl Allen, billionaire. You just can't call this guy. And I was like, all right, he's at this treasure conference. I'm gonna go up and shake his hand. And I brought my friend Joseph. I called Brandon. He's one of those guys up the river that we came up together with, jigging with Jordan. But I called Brandon. He's better at talking with people. I said, Brandon, you got to come with me, my man. We got to get in here. We're gonna finesse our way in, and then we're gonna have our own, whatever. And then. Long story short, I went up to him and I shook his hand. I was like talking to a schoolgirl crush. And I walked back, sit back to the table with Joseph. He's my cameraman. I was like, he already forgot about me. I'm like, dang, this drive. We already drove all the way down here. We're going to drive back in. So I wrote a little note and I handed it to Miss Gigi, his wife. And then shortly after maybe a month or so, Gigi, I think, reached out, and then next thing you know, we're on his yacht eating wagyu hot dogs.
Dude,
And it was great.
Not
I
the
can't
wagyu
complain.
hot dogs.
I never
at
had
all,
a wagyu
bro.
hot dog.
Dang.
Dang.
No, but he treated me like family. His staff's
Wow.
amazing. His island in the Bahamas, he owns Walker's Cay, and it's just beautiful. And he gave me permission to have my own treasure boat. It's just pretty expensive to do that. And then imagine, you're like in the ocean above a shipwreck. So it's like in the middle of nowhere. It's like you're in a desert. So you got to have everything lined up and do
That's
it correctly.
crazy.
But-
Like how
Wow.
there's
Yeah.
just literally there's levels to this stuff. Like
yeah, no, it's really, the people are next level. I wish I had $1 billion
Kind of
to do all that.
history
Dude.
is attached to that kind of like
So-
treasure hunting.
So there's a shipwreck. It's a hard name to pronounce, but long story short, just to keep it simple, two ships were in the middle of the night about 300 years ago. One ship collided with the other ship, and it split in two, and all the guts of the gold and everything fell down in the ocean. And I've learned about treasure hunting with my buddy Mike, who works for the Queen's Jewels LLC. That's Mel Fisher. If you've ever heard of like the Treasure Coast, he works for those people. And I went out and found some coins with him. It was really neat. But to be honest with you, he was already on like a little run. He's like, Jake, get out here. There's some good stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm coming. He spent a whole year looking for that little pile. But
he's like a
Dang.
pirate, bro.
but Carl, he's I think the first person to get permission in the Bahamas in a long time. I think it took him like 15 or 20 years. Don't quote me, but I know once someone came in power in the Bahamas, I don't know how they were connected, but he got the green light, and he's doing everything I guess as good as you could, from my knowledge. He has a museum and he collects it, so everyone in the Bahamas can go to that museum, and he doesn't sell it because he
Is
doesn't
that
need it.
because like it took him that long to get permission? Like, is there pushback from the government because they
That's what
just
it
don't
was.
want you to like? It's just gonna sit there if
Yeah.
he's not looking for it.
There's $1 billion that was in that shipwreck in the middle of the night. $1 billion fell on the ocean floor. He's already found a few $1 million of artifacts. I went into his like museum of like in his vault and everything. I was like, wow, this is cool. And then, like I put on this necklace, and he's like, that's got to be at least $4 million. I was like, dang. They're all priceless though. I mean, I think that's just the weight of the gold. So it's cool to see them actually finding stuff. And I found a coin. My girlfriend found a coin. She found one before me, to be honest with you. And then a guy named Jim Sinclair, he's a treasure hunter that I look up to. He found a little gem. I forgot what's the green gem? Emerald. He found an emerald right next to me, and we're in 50 foot of water. So how it works is you have these blowers on the boat. You put them down, you turn the boat on in theory, and it blows all the water and it exposes that bedrock. And you're literally in the middle of nowhere. Like you can't just swim down and fan the sand. It's underneath like 20, 30, foot of sand.
That's
So
crazy, dude.
yeah, it's just really cool to see him doing that. And that's not like it's fun to see real treasure hunting and to see the chance of. I just feel like, I don't know, Mike, the real treasure, he says I have a horseshoe up my butt because I get so lucky, and I just feel like it's in my hands. Like if he puts me on a boat and I get some caffeine in my system, it's just a matter of time. Like I'm gonna find $1
God.
billion.
You're like a magnet.
Yeah.
Dang, I'm learning so
But,
much. I didn't
yeah.
know
I'm
this
surprised-
much about any of this
I'm
stuff.
surprised one of your favorite films isn't something like Fool's Gold or like
I love like
those treasure hunting movies.
I love I used to watch movies all the time. I love YouTube and stuff now, kind of getting like when I first started, I would look at all the videos about people who are doing the same stuff that I'm doing, just because I really enjoyed watching that stuff, and there really wasn't many people doing it. But yeah, no, obviously I have a few favorite movies, but to be honest with you, I can also listen to a song a million times and I don't even know the name of it. Like, I don't know why, but yeah. I wish I had maybe a list of movies, the lineup. I could tell you which one's my favorite.
That's true.
So just these other random questions. How long can you hold your breath?
So right now, I've gotten a little bigger, so I definitely can't hold my breath as long as I could back in the past. But
All muscle though, dude.
yeah, maybe. I know when I first started, before scuba diving, I was relying on free diving or just snorkeling to find my stuff at the river, and sometimes it takes you get down to the bottom, it takes like 30 feet deep. You know, so you had to be really calm, but I never pushed it too hard because if you fainted, it's dark and murky down there, no one's gonna come and find you. And I never free dive or snorkel alone. You always have a buddy, just because if you faint, you're gone. No one's knowing you're down there. So I would always naturally, I'd probably push like 45 seconds to a minute on every dive, just going around and collecting stuff and coming up, just in case I get in some trouble, like maybe getting a hook in me or something, just, you got to be aware of that. But I've held my breath for 2 minutes one time, but like not moving around, but 2 minutes, maybe I could probably train a little over 2 minutes, but
Dang.
2 minutes is probably about my max.
Okay,
So,
good.
That's pretty
I'm
impressive.
just trying to get some of these like
I'm
random.
like 45 seconds.
12
top.
minutes. Yeah, no,
Standing still.
38 seconds.
12 minutes.
Yeah, probably about 45 minutes.
No, I'm breathing that
I'm a
scuba tank,
fish.
y'all.
What's the most exotic place you've ever? Is it dived?
It does, yeah, it's the same thing.
Dove?
The most
Yeah, grammar guy.
exotic place. The most exotic place that I've been to would probably just be the Bahamas. I've been to a lot of places in the U.S. I really love Hawaii as well. I was a kid in Hawaii. I don't really remember it too much. I grew up in California, and that was very nice. But like exotic, I'd say the Bahamas. I'd say most far out would be the Amazon jungle.
Dang.
I went out one time. I didn't. I was like the whitest kid out there, boy. But it was crazy because I went to this. We went to this tribe. I landed in Manaus, and we took a little plane. We were going fishing, and then we landed in this village, and it was like, at the time I was like, wow, this is super small, And then after a few weeks there, I was like, that's the town, that's the biggest, I felt like a city to me, and it was cool to see that. But it honestly felt like the Chattahoochee, but with some bigger white trees and it was
piranha.
Yeah, and piranha.
Big old anacondas.
But I collect certain things sometimes, and I picked up a rock. There was a baby anaconda underneath it,
shoot.
and then right next to it was like Wolverine scratches on the rock, or not Wolverine. It was a Wolverine.
Like
it was I think jaguar marks on the rock. I don't know. So yeah, most far out would be the Amazon. Most
That's
tropical,
awesome, dude.
I don't know,
Amazon?
like beautiful would be the Bahamas. That's my
Yeah.
favorite spot. Like the water there is just unreal. Like it's cool to see the trees in the Amazon, but that water in the Bahamas is just. You take a picture with your phone, it looks like a wallpaper. I had to
Yeah.
bring my family out to go see it because it's unreal. Like the Exuma Bahamas is
And
what I'm
there's
specifically
so,
talking about.
The Bahamas is such a large. Like, there's just so many islands. And
Yeah, Staniel's my favorite. That's a good spot if you haven't been. It's a little high dollar, but the feeling that you get there is just nice. Like I've been to Nassau and I like it, but it's just I get approached a lot from people trying to sell you things. I just like a little bit more of a chill. Like if I could have a nice steak, and you're on a private island, and that's all I ever need.
Yeah.
Like your own little space. But
That's all I'm asking. Just a private island with a little bit of wagyu hot dogs, dude. Come on.
the wagyu hot dogs.
So for your followers and obviously our followers, what's maybe something that you enjoy doing that maybe not a lot of people know about, that hasn't been shown on YouTube, like not diving or dirt biking or anything like that?
Yeah. No, I don't dirt bike too much anymore. But I still have my dirt bike. I do enjoy going out and getting some food at my Florida cabin with my dirt bike. But things I'd say that I'm really passionate about, I think the reason I was really good at YouTube and we first started and the consistency was just because first off, I loved it and I still love it. But I was just hyper focused, I don't know if I have ADHD or anything like that, but once I'm stuck on a task, it's like everything else just doesn't matter. And I just tunnel vision on that. And it's good and
Yeah,
bad.
you got ADHD.
Yeah, it's good and bad,
It's a
but
good
it's
thing.
like hyper focus. It's good to hyper focus, but all your other stuff can pile up, But for me, living with my mom and my dad, I didn't really need to worry about too much, so I'll just go out, have fun, record, and that was great. But time goes on and new passions kind of come about, and I've been really training in the gym. I started in my garage. I broke my shoulder, and then I hired a personal trainer. His name's Brandon Tucker. Brandon Tucker had the world record for most pull-ups in 24 hours.
What the
It's been
heck?
since beat, but to watch that man do some pull-ups, for 24 hours and
Dude,
support
pull-ups
him.
are no joke.
The guy that ran the marathon in the jeans?
I don't know if
is that the guy that
I don't
broke the
see
record,
Brandon
maybe?
doing some jeans running like that, but I don't know. But he basically, I had no idea about working out or anything to do with training. I was very naive about everything, food and everything. I think I was 28, 29, 30, somewhere in there when I broke my shoulder. And I remember walking in the gym and I had my arm in a sling and I was like, "Can y'all fix me?" And because it just looked crazy. It's like seeing, I guess Tony Hawk at the skate park and asking Tony Hawk to help you out. This guy's just shredded. Very nice. And that's when I realized most people at the gym are actually pretty cool. And if you were a dickhead, it's just like, it doesn't really matter. Like you're not, I don't know, you're just push aside. But most people in the gym are super nice. And so a new passion for me is just training and just maybe just being accountable and looking at the food, seeing what that does, seeing what the training's doing to me, growing muscle, maybe getting leaner. I just love everything about it. It's just like treasure hunting. There's so many things about it to learn, and I don't think I'll ever perfect it, but it's something that's new and I'm getting into, and I'd like to kind of incorporate that within my YouTube channel and everything, because fitness and treasure hunting kind of goes hand in hand. Sometimes when we go like Hawaii, when we're doing metal detecting, we would hike in the jungle to go to these waterfalls. And sure, if you're just walking with, as a normal tourist or whatever, it's not too bad. But a few miles with your tank on your back and holding a big Nauticam, and your 50-pound weight, whatever it would be, it adds up, and it's fun to implement the training aspect to it all. And once I got a little older too, it's nice to get your arm back, and I'm healthier now than I was before I broke my arm. So it's fun.
That's awesome.
Training and learning about all that stuff has just been a passion.
Yeah, I wouldn't say we're gym rats, but we're pretty focused on the gym too. Just like when you start getting older into your 30s, people watching right now that are older than us, they're like, "Shut up, you idiot!" You just it's
true.
Like, I don't feel as good when I'm not exercising, and then you're like, the whole eating is just a whole nother part of it. It's
I like the grind, man. It's just like, for me, I just love, when I first started, I loved going out. I'd film, I'd edit that video in a day, and then I'd upload maybe the day after. And it was just so cool to do that consistently and to mix the drive of the training, the eating, and the treasure hunting. Like, if I can do that, consistently, perfectly even, that'd be the dream. Sure. And that's just so much fun. Once you get on a groove and you're doing it for a few weeks, it's like, okay, we're doing some stuff,
So we're gonna start seeing some gym content
maybe,
on your channel.
I've already implemented
go,
some, like on the Instagram account, we're just kind of showing off a little bit more of the body, which I never really do, but something to be proud of. You just put some time in. I'm not anything super special by any means, but coming back from when I started, I looked like I was really skinny. I was like 120 pounds. Like I said, I just ate anything. I didn't work out. And it's crazy because that's the only person I really want to impress is that little version of me, if that makes sense. And I feel like I'm more than enough, and I feel great. But it's just
Dude,
a
you
sport.
could crush that guy right now.
Yeah, I'm like, I could kill him. No, it's just fun, just to see the difference. And as I make my YouTube videos, I look back. You can really see your face changing. And as I get older over the years, you just see everything, changing and morphing. And I think you're right. In your 30s, if you slack a little bit, it could really mean, it can make or break, as you're going into your 40s for sure. And I like to look pretty stout as a 40-year-old going to 40s and 50s. So I'd like to keep it up if I could, but yeah.
What's your weight at now?
Right now we're about 200. I wanted to get up to 210, but we got around like 205, 206 in the morning, and that was pretty good though.
That's
for
awesome,
me.
man.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. It didn't happen overnight, but it seems so because I never shared that stuff on the internet.
How much can you bench?
Honestly, last time I benched,
This is turning into a gym conversation, bro. Love it.
Oh yeah, me too. Last time I tried to do my PR, it was 225. I just wanted 225, and then after that, and that's been a few years, so I definitely think I can get more than 225. But for me, it's not really about like how much I can lift. It's just about like I have a cable machine in my in the garage, and then I don't know. I really I feel it. I aim for that. Whatever reps I want to aim for to hit that whatever goal I'm doing. But for me, I think you still need heavy weight. But I think, pushing just heavy stuff, I don't know. I mean, there's just strategies with everything. But yeah, I haven't really pushed for 225 lately. Plus, I don't want to injure my
Yeah,
shoulder.
yeah.
So I think I
well,
got
so
it for
with
sure.
with your injury, do you feel like you have kind of your movement
Yeah,
and stuff back? Does it feel?
You know, for those who doesn't know, I broke my shoulder, and I basically the whole shoulder had like snapped and completely. I tore all like my muscles and
Yeah,
my
I saw
ligaments.
your
It was just
video
like
on it,
hanging
and you were
on.
like saying it's like the worst pain you've ever felt. It's
Oh,
like,
it was the
I
worst.
can
It's
only
like
imagine.
if we were back in the day before like modern medicine, I'd think I would just have y'all just take me out. I mean, otherwise, you'd have to
No,
put my
dude,
arm
just
somewhere.
amputate your
Yeah,
arm.
you
You'd
could,
be
but
good. Oh.
dude, it was terrible. Like it was
Jeez.
just gnarly. But you know that medicine they put in you, I was kind of acting like myself pretty shortly after, which is amazing. You know, it's super cool in the right hands.
Dude, your scar is
Yeah, I had
gnarly,
it
bro.
redone by a doctor.
Zoom in on that scar.
Yeah, it was really bad to be honest with you. It was a big fat line, and I had it redone. I was about to. I want to get some tattoos, but I was like, before I do some tattoos, let me just fix the scar up, and then that's the best it's probably gonna look. And then now I can put some tattoos if I wanted
Sick,
to, but
yeah.
I don't have any. But I just feel like if I get one, I'm just gonna show up with a full body one day.
Yeah.
So
First
maybe.
one that says like cut here or something.
Yeah, I don't know what we'll do if we cover it up or not, but I
Yeah.
just, I'm never ashamed. I've got a scar across my body from when I was little, and it's just put another one. I feel a little naked over here, so
Yeah.
I don't need another scar, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Well, so let's maybe just back up a little bit, maybe like more of your background. Can you just tell us like, because I know you're from California, so maybe tell me like about growing up in California and then what it was like to move to the dirty, humid, hot South, the dirty
It
South.
is humid and hot.
And then also like how you got into scuba diving and stuff. Just give me a little bit of like your backstory.
Yeah, so Scuba Jake, as a kid, I was born in Georgia. I was born in DALLMYD, Georgia. My dad was in the military, so we moved around a lot. And I remember bouncing back from Georgia to Alabama to New York. My grandparents live in Carthage, New York. And so I remember kind of bouncing back, and I think that's pretty natural being that my dad was in the military. And then we moved to Hawaii, and my sister was born there, and we stayed there for a while. And then I think we moved back to Georgia. Georgia's like always like a good home base.
Yeah.
And then we moved to Washington State, and then we moved, I think, back to Georgia. And then we moved to California. And then I remember California is really where I grew up as a kid. I started 6th grade in California. And to be honest with you, I remember like aspects of me growing up over the years, but I'd say I grew up California. I remember 6th grade all the way up to graduating high school in Huntington Beach High School. And looking back, I never liked school. I just wanted to get out. But I was so blessed in that area. That middle school, I could literally look out my window and see like the ocean. And it's not like perfect. It was just a little sliver. But if it was
Just
glassy,
enough, dude.
I just knew it was going to be some good surf, And I just, as a Southern kid with an accent, I don't know how it unfolded, but I just loved the water. And and it was weird probably seeing a Southern dude in that school in Huntington and just going surfing. But yeah, I loved it. I want to be a professional surfer, so I just obsessed over it. And after that, high school, graduated, did a little bit of college, but I just really wanted to focus on YouTube, so I dropped out. And then we moved back to Georgia after California. I could have stayed. It's just really expensive. But I decided to take the time to chase my dream of YouTube, and I really honed in on my gaming content. And that's where we started chasing for those team goals, just being a part of something bigger than what I was. And then shortly after, that's when I found the river. So I always wanted to be a YouTuber as long as like I ever knew. And I know I started my channel in 2011, but I think I made some videos before, like surfing videos. It's just so cool to see yourself on camera and maybe learn how to have better form or whatever it was. But something about it was just so much fun. It was captivating, and not really many people were doing it. And I don't know, I really wanted it, if that makes sense.
That's awesome.
So what, like when you started doing or like when did you actually start diving? Because like I know there's like a lot that goes into learning how to dive, especially when you're doing the oxygen and all that, like those kind of dives. Like when did that all start? Was it kind of at the same time as you decided you wanted to do the YouTube in the river? Or?
Yeah, so I graduated high school 2011. We moved here shortly after. And then I think around 2015-ish, 14 maybe, I found myself at the river. I heard there was a river wave, and I was like, oh, wow, okay, let me go down there and check it out. And sure enough, there's that endless wave. And I was like, wow, like, for someone who wanted to be a professional surfer growing up in California, I was like, I got it back.
Perfect.
I got my vibe back. I'm not really down anymore. And I was having so much fun. I'd go out. And it wasn't long after that, I started fishing and learning about the river and what's in the river to catch. Those big stripers were a lot of fun. Catfish is fun too. And then I would say 2016, I think, is when we made our first treasure hunting video, but I think I might have made it in 2015. But yeah, 2016 is really when everything kind of went in full force for the underwater treasure hunting finding on my channel, if that makes sense.
Wow.
Was it was it a difficult process to learn all the stuff that goes into scuba diving with all that gear, or was it just like a natural progression?
You know, like I said, I didn't have a lot of money growing up. You know, we just had what we need. But when we went out, I just used my goggles and my snorkels. My snorkels, my goggles, and my
Two
my
snorkel.
Yeah, two. That's how. That's a secret. Don't tell anyone. Yeah, when I first started, I would just snorkel or free dive, and I didn't have a lot of money, so I didn't have like anything to go buy for a scuba tank. But then I remember meeting this firefighter, and he just showed up at cut bait, like the dangerous hole over there, just deep. That's like 30 foot down there. And he's like, "You want to try it?" And I was like, "Wow, like that looks like so much fun. I've always wanted to try this, you know, ever since I like kind of been at it." And I was like, "Okay, let me try it." So I grabbed the tank. I'm holding it in my hand, and it's just like a regulator, and there's nothing else. I sink myself to the bottom, like I took a breath in the water. I was like, "Wow, this feels like cheating," you know? It just feels like
this is everything.
no, it really was. Because before I would go down, you know, I'd hold my breath, and then for me, when I found someone's phone, I was starting to realize like we were making some good money, and I was like, this is a lot of fun, and now I'm just people watching and seeing how often can I replicate these videos and just find some good stuff. So finding a phone was like finding a gold bar for me. So now that I had that scuba tank on my back, I was like, okay, no phones are getting out of my reach. We're going to find everything.
Nice.
You know, phones didn't have any value probably for anyone else, but sharing it online was just a hook. And then you're able to give back their phone for free to those people. And then the views would come in a video, and then, you know, you just show off whatever you want to share, you know, whether you're picking up the environment or maybe returning other stuff. So I don't know. It was the weirdest feeling, but from that experience, it didn't take long, and I went to Hawaii, and then I did I think a 2-day course, and I got certified. It was the coolest day of my life. I remember I went skydiving the day before. It was just like a spur of the moment thing, and I was like, the first time I ever did it, I was like, I guess you got to do it in Hawaii. So I did it, and it was fun. And the guy who I was strapped to, he was a helicopter pilot. He worked on the North Shore. And he took me on his helicopter. He just said, "You just want to come and ride?" And I was like, "Okay." And I just, I'll film this if I get the ride for free. I mean, whatever, let's go, you know. And then I remember I felt like James Bond. We landed in the airport, and then he dropped me off, and then I got certified. It was a helicopter ride, like skydive.
Dude,
helicopter
what a
ride.
day!
Yeah, it was crazy. I didn't skydive it was a day before, you know, but it was cool to do all that, and it felt amazing. And I actually never shared any of that footage. Well, I shared the helicopter ride, but I didn't share any of the other footage. But it's cool to look back on, and maybe one day I'll share my first diving experience getting certified. I thought that was cool.
That's awesome.
Dude, that's awesome.
Thanks, man.
So what's like the weirdest thing you've ever found that you didn't put on your channel?
I had to blur it, but it was a big Moby,
A what?
a Moby Dick.
Oh my god!
I didn't know if I
No
could
way,
say
bro.
a big
Are
one.
you serious?
Yeah, but it was planted for me to find, and it had my name on it. I love DALLMYD.
Oh my god, bro!
So that's like
some random person.
no,
just threw it in, or
it was
one of your buddies?
someone.
buddies?
Yeah,
Oh
but
I
my
saw that
God.
y'all
I
like
have
prank
found
each other and
those-
stuff.
I haven't found a Moby before, but I found some
my
other stuff.
gosh, bro! I was
But-
like, Moby? Is that
I
some
was
kind
like,
of
am I gonna
weapon?
say it?
Kind of. Hey,
Look,
chat, we're gonna clip that.
Oh man.
But other weird stuff that I have come across, you know, obviously there's some bad stuff. You're going to find, you know, if you're in the river, people toss stuff in the river, you know, you're going to find your weapons. A lot of those weapons are tied to bad stuff like murders. And it's cool to find those and give it back. There's a rare amount of weapons I'm sure that people accidentally drop in the water, but I think 9 times out of 10, you know, it's for a bad reason. So obviously you got that aspect of it all, and then you have like, you know, the potential chance of maybe finding someone. I've never found anyone like, you know, like flesh or anything, but I had found a murdered victim before, and we thought maybe it was a smaller woman based upon the bone structures and things like that. And I would have never really known it was even human bones or even bones to begin with, unless I talked to my friends. Paleo Chris is his name on the internet, but Chris, he's the smartest kid. Like he's a little older than me, a kid. He's the smartest guy I know. Dude. He could find a little bone, and it could be a fossil, you know, whatever, how many millions of years old, and he could tell you like that's the whatever to this. And it's cool that I felt weird because I've learned enough, and I was like, there's some scratch marks on this because the Native Americans would scratch their bones off the, you know, clean the meat off the bones, and we're finding stuff like that. And I was like, there's something weird with this. And then
So you're like doing CSI down
yeah,
there.
no, yeah, I got some hate in the comments, but at the end of the day, it didn't matter. Those police just bagged the bones, and then they figured out what they needed to do. I'm not doing any extra.
Was
harm.
it a murder?
They
Did you
think
find
it
out?
was a murder for sure, because it looked like someone was in a bag and they put the person over and dropped it. And I don't know,
my
and that person was cut up, and that's where those scratch marks on the bone. So
Dude, it sounds like, do you just get haters on every video you post?
You know what's crazy is I have like the nicest fan base. Like 9 times out of 10, everyone's gonna say something nice. But now as the age goes on and they see the number of subscribers, like I really haven't changed. I've changed a lot over the years. I'm not the same kid, but like for my love of the sport and how organic and real it is, like I've never faked a find. What they see in the videos is truly how it is and where it is. I even try to get a lie detector guy to come down and so I could just prove to everyone.
my gosh.
But he told me that's fake, and I was like,
my
I don't know what to do. Like
So
I looked into it.
Is that what it is? They're always just accusing you.
You know,
Like,
a lot
you
of
planted that.
Yeah, you know, when I first started, I was talking to Brandon and Tristan. I was like, look, guys, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, but if you're working with me and anyone who's working with me, like we cannot set anything up because, you know, at the time, if I found an iPhone, that video is going to be, I don't like to talk too much about money, but I just want to kind of paint the picture. If I found that iPhone and that video did really well, that can easily be an easy $1,000 to a life-changing amount. Like it's a gambling. It's just, you never know what's going to
Like
hit.
from the YouTube
Yeah.
like AdSense and stuff.
So it was just cool to do that. What the heck were we talking about? I'm all over the place.
Just like what the hater, because like I've just seen like
Spitting all over the
you
table.
had
Yeah, the clip
you were
issue.
just saying like that they'll accuse
Oh,
you, or
yeah,
they'll just hate on
I think
you.
as time goes on, you know, they see the number, they'll see the truck and things like that, and like I wish people didn't think like that because I really am pretty genuine and I really don't mess with anything and like for drama or anything, but. There's always going to be negative comments. I've had people call me fat when I was 120 pounds. They just try to get underneath your skin, and that's what I tell every creator. Like, no matter how perfect you are, someone's going to say something, and they're just trying to kind of mess up your
The
day.
trolls out there, man.
I just
they
wish sometimes, I know, I'm
Yeah.
sure other creators feel this. I just wish I can just like unveil that computer screen and just
Yeah.
punch through that. And like, who's ever leaving this comment? Because that damn video took me so long to edit or whatever. And I'm like, there's already a negative comment in the first 2
that is
minutes.
the
You ain't
greatest
watch
thing
it.
ever.
That's a great visual.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say something like, "I wish I could just talk to him." You're like, "I wish I could just open it up."
Yeah, these people-
sock him right in the face.
Most people, they're very nice. I would say I have an A+ channel in the sense of people doing that. But recently, it's just natural. You know, people, they see you finding all this stuff, and the better I get at it, the more people are like, okay, he's gonna fake it. And I was talking about that iPhone because I could go back and I could go buy an iPhone for $1,000 and then make more money on that. You know, just keep planning it. But it's just, it was too quick for me to find people's stuff. There's just so much stuff to find, so many stories to create. So it's like I didn't have to go buy anything. And
Well, too, for
I have
like
any money
people
for
that
it.
don't know, like we have a whitewater rafting experience in Columbus. So in the
Yeah.
summer, you have hundreds of people a day going through those rapids, and they're dropping all kinds of stuff, and that's why.
I'm like
you
one of the
found
only
that.
few people that go out there, but if you can, let's just say that space, like that whole thing, and if it was somewhere else and no one ever dove it, if I were to tell you like how many phones would be in that river right now, it'd be well over 100, well over like 50 guns, just scattered, you know, the GoPros everywhere. So it would be really fun if I'd never tapped into it and I jump in now, you know, after
Yeah.
all these years.
It's
Dude, it'd
a
be
treasure
crazy.
mine.
Do you ever think like
There's places like it, and I've got a few places that are like it, even though there's treasure hunters. It's just because the water is really dark and you need like really expensive lights. So you could, I think there's a spot out there for sure that's clear and it's just like this that no one's ever dove, and there's probably stuff everywhere. But over the years, you know, it's been a
Secret
popular thing to
spot.
do. So I
Yeah.
don't think I think the secret's out. I don't know who else wants phones, but
Well, I was just gonna say, like, do you ever think like, surely there's no way this could happen, but like, just that you would find all the stuff. I know that
No.
sounds crazy, but like,
I didn't know.
there has to be a limited number of phones that
No,
can
there
be down
is.
there.
But every day the river gets replenished, you know, wherever you're at. And this river is really good for fishing lures. So you could go out, or like every season, there's going to be thousands of new fishing lures to find, thousands of dollars worth of fishing lures. And then, you know, you got those rafters. So it's just always replenishing. There's always something to find. And then when you think you found everything, you can bust out that metal detector and find the stuff buried in the sand. And then you get nerdy with that. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
And by the time you get done with that, it's been replenished and you get back out there. So it's just, you don't want to just do the same thing. You know, you always want to find new stuff, but it's fun to kind of hyper focus and maybe find certain things you want to find, like, you know, weapons or phones or GoPros or whatever it may be. So I like metal
awesome.
detecting lately. That's been a good thing.
Yeah, I watched the one of you guys in Hawaii. The metal detector is
That was-
crazy, and then the smaller one that's like,
I
like
think you're
pointing
talking
your-
about the day I was on this beach and it was raining, and I had flown my mom, my sister, and then my girlfriend and her family out too. And this video just wasn't lining up, and it was raining, and all the family members are on this rock. It was cold, and everyone's off the beach. But I was like, I know there's something here. And then I found my first ring, and I think I found like 8 or 9 more. And then I found an owner to one of them, and it was like one of the best metal detecting days of my life. But I was just about to give up. But it's crazy you bring that one up. But
The gold ring from the guy from
Yeah,
Texas.
yeah,
that was
yeah.
so cool when you called him, and it's like you can tell that they had just forgotten about it because they would just assume they'd never see it.
that's the best part.
And then
too.
like you go in there and find it. It's got to feel really cool. Like, what's that feel like when you are able to find someone like that?
You know, people always wonder like what I do with all this stuff, and sure, you can sell this stuff or whatever, but you know, giving it back to people for free is obviously the best thing and the best feeling that you'll ever get. It just sucks when things don't line up, you know, but sometimes I'll spend a lot of money to go somewhere. Like this guy lost his wedding ring in Michigan, proposing to his wife, fell off the pier. They had a diver come and look for it. They didn't find it, and I was like, I'll come up, because they also have it on
you need the
camera.
right diver.
Yeah. No, I actually said, don't send no one down it. Don't mess it up. Because it's like, if the ring falls, I can drop an anchor point, and then like I'm pretty like good in the sense of like I'm probably gonna get it if they have it on the right spot, as long as like there's not too much trash in the water. And I knew I had a really good chance, and they had another diver come out, and it just sucks because sometimes they push it out, or they might, you know, I don't know, just mess up the area. But I went out, and then I was a little ahead of it. It was just a little back, but I found it pretty quickly, and he reproposed. So doing stuff like that's really nice.
He reproposed? That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
So were you there like filming it for him?
He told me, he's like, hey, when you find this, or I might even ask him, I was like, hey, do you want me to just hand this to you so you can redo it? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I put it in my wetsuit, and then I acted like I didn't find it, and I felt bad because the girl was crying, and I was like, dang. No. Like, I didn't say I didn't find it. I just said, I think I said I got cold or something. I need a minute. And I got out, she was tearing up, and I was like, dang. And I was like, we need to do this, you know? So I gave it to him, and he was stoked. And then, he got back down on one knee, and she said yes. And,
that's awesome.
Cool.
Did they film that?
I filmed it. I don't think they filmed anything, and then I think I gave him that footage. But he might have had his phone out. I can't remember, but it would have been a good one too. The one that went in the water, and then like a split screen of the new one.
Yeah.
So I just like helping people. It doesn't really. It's a great feeling, or just finding something that you never really found. That's kind of fun. I don't know. I'm a collector too, so.
Kind of like adrenaline rush you get
No,
when you
it
find
is.
something, right?
Yeah, your dopamine, like the first time I started finding these phones, oh my goodness, man. It was like the craziest thing. It's like super high. And then, you know, when you upload it on the internet, like I said, it's kind of like you're playing a video game or like gambling. You don't know how these videos are going to do. Like you're going to know like a baseline. But from there, it's the sky's the limit. Like even this podcast, you could upload this podcast, it could change your life just like that.
Dude,
it's just,
Lord,
you know,
please
you just
let
never
it.
know. I hope make it happen. It's just how it is, man. It's just, I mean, I made videos every day for I think 5 years, 4 or 5 years. I didn't make $100 in the gaming world, and it really wasn't until I found that little niche, and it just found me. So it was just crazy that I wanted it more than anything. And I was kind of blinded for, you know, the openness of like maybe other genres I should kind of partake in, and that's why I have an openness about other genres, like maybe the gym community and things like that, and intertwining, because I think it's cool to do all that, but. Yeah, don't get discouraged.
It's just weird how like different things will take off, or like on TikTok we'll put out a video, it will get nothing, and then we'll put out another one that I think is not that good, and it'll get like 1,500 views, and you're like, nothing makes sense.
It's crazy because when I first started, it was pretty simple with a strategy. You know, I think I just uploaded when I had a video ready, and then as long as it wasn't too late or too early, you know, and I was uploading about every day, but as time goes on, I think there's new features, and obviously YouTube and all these other platforms want to increase their outreach or whatever, productivity or anything. But I think nowadays more people than ever could probably make it their career, because it seems like it might not be it's still very difficult, and there's a lot more competition, but there's a lot more tools for someone to make it happen. So with YouTube, you know, now you have these shorts, and I never really messed around with them too much, but I did make a few, and we got a few over 40 million views, and I've earned over 100,000 subs off each one, like a few times over. So like, you can use it, but I didn't make. I might have made $1,000, but that's sure, it's a lot of money, and anything helps. But if you're trying to make your job out of it, you know, 40 million views for maybe 1,000, you're gonna have to pull in some mega views to make a living. So it's unrealistic. So I focus on long format on YouTube, and that's where some more money is. And then I'll chop all that stuff for my Facebook, or my Facebook team will chop it up on Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and stuff like that.
Interesting. So like, at what point did what you're doing go from I'm just having fun in the river to like, okay, this is actually like what I'm gonna do full time.
Yeah.
Like this is my life, like job. Not in a bad way, just like this is my career. How is this
Yeah, I was
happening?
I was growing up. I was living with my mom and my dad. I think I was 24, 23 years old. Never made $100, and then we just sat down. We had a conversation. It was like, okay, if we're gonna do this, we gotta do it. And then that's when I really devoted that time in the gaming stuff, and it just really wasn't clicking. And then once I found, and I'd always ask my mom, like, she was a barber, and I do this in a friendly manner. I was like, how much money do you make today, Mom? I was like, I want this job to feel like a real job in a sense of revenue. It's like if my mom made, a couple $100, I would like to see if I could match that one day,
That's cool.
So the day finally came. I was like, how much money you make? I was like, cool. Like I got, we did the same amount, a couple $100. I was like, great. I was like, okay, we'll see what tomorrow is. And then it was like the same-ish amount, maybe she made a couple $100, I made a couple. And then the next day or whatever it was after that, it was like I made a whole year's salary in a day. And I was like, holy crap. And then another whole year and another whole, it's just bang, bang,
You're
bang.
like, Mom, you
like,
could quit your job.
yeah. So I hired my mom, and then she.
Oh, wait, you really did?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So she's now my personal barber. Sometimes I don't cut my hair too much anymore. But so I hired her. I retired my dad too, my sister. But they also have their jobs now. My dad's a
that's
teacher too.
awesome.
So it's just. For me, I see money as an opportunity. Like I grew up with not a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money now. I have like assets. I just feel a little tight, if that makes sense, because I have like 3 properties. I don't have to live like that, but it's just first world problems. But I just I see money as like freedom. I see it as an opportunity to share your experiences with your family. I was able to bring my parents to the Bahamas. They've never seen anything like that, and it was so cool. Like. My mom, she drowned when she was little, so she never really got to swim. Like, she's never really comfortable. And I remember for her to see that water and to put that regulator in her mouth for the first time, she didn't go deep or anything, but like for her to breathe in the water, it was just, wow. To me, that's everything. So cool. Money is freedom, it's opportunity, and it would be very nice if no one in my family would have bills, and that's rich for me. Obviously, I have a nice truck, but to be honest with you, looking back, I would rather have saved my money on about everything. I love my house. I love spending maybe a little extra money on my bed because you're in that bed for a long time, whatever. Some good food.
Water bed with some fish in it.
Yeah, some good food. But really, you don't need a lot for the treasure hunting stuff. I mean, you can max out. You can fly everywhere. You can have the best tools. But I feel like over the years, I've gathered enough tools and things like that to make whatever videos I want. But you can always go bigger and badder, if that makes sense. But and maybe that's that real treasure hunting stuff, maybe get the boat or whatever. But I'm just at a spot in my life where I just really want to focus on eating well, working out, becoming a better me, and saving some extra money and maybe helping my family. I think that's where I want to chase.
That's awesome,
I wish that money stayed like that, forever.
Sure.
But it was a cool moment in my life. And I remember the subs went from 200,000 subs to like 1 million in just like a couple weeks. And then that the 2 million was just maybe another couple weeks, and it was just fast. It was like, wow. It's like every time at that time too, you can also see your live subscribers count individually. Now I think it's updated every 10,000 or 100,000 or something for me. So you don't see that ticker going, but back in the day, you would see the ticker every time it'd go, it'd be like 10,000, like.
Damn,
it was like the coolest thing. So
wow. You're like,
I got to live it, and it was really neat at that time. And I would say that's the most viral time in my whole career, like that. Like everyone wanted to talk about the stories, and I'll have viral videos kind of pop up here and there, but it was just really cool for it to happen. And I don't have enough money in my bank account basically to live. I could, but I got more grind in me. I'm gonna keep it going, and I just love what I do. I would do all that even if I didn't have a camera, and honestly, I did last year. I pretty much just went out, and I never really made too many videos. I was just a kid. I just tried to get back to my roots in my mindset, if that made sense.
Keep that passion.
Yeah.
That's
burn
awesome,
out.
man.
Yeah.
So what are like maybe some of the negative or like downsides to what you do? Like what are some of the struggles that come with it? Because I know a lot of times, as the audience, people look at it like, whoa, you got 14 million subscribers, you got all this stuff, you go to the Bahamas, but like I'm sure there's a lot beyond that people don't see, like some of the pressures to upload, and like, what are some of the challenges that you face?
Yeah, I would say the first pressure I felt, you want to wait for the helicopter?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Awkward helicopter break.
No, they're a little early to pick me
they
up.
Don't, what's that guy, Carl? That guy's coming to get you.
Carl's coming to get me to bring on this boat.
Take us with you, Carl. Give us some wagyu.
Carl, if you see this, take me to your house.
Yeah, we're sending this straight to Carl. I'm going to find him.
Yeah, we're all going to Bahamas. Yeah. Wagyu.
Let's go,
Wagyu hot dogs. What a dream.
So we were saying struggles. Yeah. struggles with everything, I guess. I think there's struggles with every aspect of the job, whether it's physical, mental, or even just the aspect of treasure hunting or even YouTube itself. There's so many variables that can make a good video happen or a good adventure happen or whatever. But, I guess if I could just summarize everything as quickly as I could, I'd say to kind of bring those struggles down, it's just to try to be as simple as possible and to try to be that kid. It's not too hard. I mean, it's if let's just say it's just a typical original style videos where we go out and dive and show people what we find. It's literally I'll bring my cameraman now because it's just nice to have another guy. But sometimes he stays at home. But I don't need a lot. I got my camera.
Shout out to the cameraman.
Yeah, I got my guy to help out just to make sure I'm safe. I don't need a full team. I've seen I could have a full team. I don't know. I work better when it's just a one-on-one or just like as less people as possible. And then I think you get invited to do more things when you have less people.
Yeah.
So Joe's my right-hand man with that. But we'll go down and all I need is my little camera, like my topside camera, my underwater camera. And then if I want to get a little nerdy with it, I'll bring my big underwater camera to take maybe thumbnails or something. But I try to do a video a day. It's just the struggles I have will just be the conditions. Right now, if that rain were to pull up, drop and then the floodgates open up, that river could be all murky for 6 months, and then I'm out of a job here, so I have to move, and that's why I bought my cabin in Florida, and I make a lot of videos at Jenny Springs because the river there, it's pretty similar to this. It's just a little different. Like you can find some bad stuff, like weapons, because people are tossing things. There, it's going to be more modern technology because people are floating and having a good time, and the water there is murky, so you just need that dive light, and then you're pretty good. So the challenge is, like I said, it's just the conditions. It's maybe the flow of everything. And then on the YouTube side, it's like you can have the most perfect video and it can just flop. So I don't have a secret recipe other than just being consistent and just, maybe adapting to maybe those changes that you may see in your audience retention and just like why are people clicking off or if it feels like it's, maybe like a dead space in a video. But I just feel like my content's pretty fun to watch. Like I have a good time making it. It's just I don't know. I think people enjoy people watching, like finding stuff. I don't know if it really gets old as long as it's real.
Yeah, it's real, people.
Yeah, no, because I wouldn't want to watch anyone find some fake stuff. But it's cool. I just go underneath the bridge, and I would love this if someone dove underneath somewhere. I'd be like, "What'd you find?" Like it's cool. Yeah, there's a lot of struggles though. It's just, there's just a lot of things. But
man, I can't believe it. Like last night it rained a lot.
Yeah,
you're not gonna be able to get in the river for.
No, so it changes. Sorry, I'm over here. Oh, I thought
you're
late.
good.
I was
You're
over here
good.
touching.
Oh, dude,
You're real close.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought you said you had a girlfriend.
What the heck were we talking about?
Murky water, rain.
No, so later in the year, like summertime, if it rains, we should be fine. That last little push, it did go up to 4 units, which means for the dam, that's super high flow. 4 is like the best for surfing, but 4 units for the wave, it'll wash out because the water is moving too fast eventually. You got about an hour or so until that water just becomes like a glass, like just green face, if that makes sense, or it just mushes down.
Yeah.
But my
Science,
theory,
people.
yeah, my theory though was like all that water would go down the river. It's gonna flush maybe all the rest of the bull crap out, and if we have a couple low days, like maybe a week or something, it should be the clearest it's been in a while. But you're totally right. That last rain could mess it up, and it could be weird for a minute. But I think we're kind of pushed past that time period. Usually anywhere between like January to April, if it rains pretty hard, that's like a flood stage where you're waiting months to go dive. So, and that's happened, like I've had like my first, right when my channel was taking off, the river flooded. And I was like, what do I do? I don't know where to go. I was like, I had no idea. So that's why I think
Carl.
if I knew Carl.
Yeah. So like, I know you live here, but like when you dive somewhere that's really clear, like in Florida or in Hawaii, is it like just super... Is it way easier diving in a place like that in the ocean where it's like complete visibility? Because here it's like,
It's dark.
You can't see anything.
I guess, whether it's easier or not, sometimes if you go to Hawaii, you might need to take a boat out there. And I'm not really, I like boats, I have a boat or whatever, but like, I just get a little boat sick sometimes, seasick, and it's just not for me. So I don't really like to go too far out. For me, easy wise is literally to get ready for work, apart from like everything else, just me. I got my shorts right here. I could literally go out with them right now. I got my shorts. I usually just go wear my little wetsuit booties, and then I got my BCD and my goggles and my bag, and I go out and find stuff. So that aspect's really easy. The murkiness is very dangerous. And if you're a first time diver, I wouldn't suggest anyone diving in that river just because there's fish in the line and just debris everywhere. And if you don't time it right, if that water rises, I mean, you're gone and no one's finding you. So, and I always have a dog tag on me with my name and my phone number or someone to contact just in case I were to come up missing, you know, and they were to find me. So it's a real deal. I think it's the most dangerous place in the whole world to dive. And I've been hooked many times with like braided fishing line. And, you know, if you don't have a knife or something, you got to like wiggle that out of your skin in time before you ran out of air. But I never really had to worry too much. You just cut the fish line and you can handle it later. So that aspect's really dangerous. Hawaii, when I got certified, I heard this term cultured, I guess. When you get cultured, things get a little bit like, I don't know. It's so beautiful. I love it. But to be honest with you, I get a little bored. I just want to find stuff. That to me is like the fun in it. And it doesn't matter if it's murky. Like obviously if it's clear for miles, it's the best.
Right,
and it's really great for the videos. But we'll make it work if it's not. But yeah, just regular diving for me is just, I don't know. It's not in my cards too much. I just love finding stuff. If I was regularly like checking a spot out for fun, I'd probably just have some free dive fins and swim around and just kind of be in the spot more, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's
But
awesome.
I haven't been to a lot of places, so I'm not going to say I don't like diving in places. I like
If
finding
someone's
stuff.
listening, they want to bring you out. You're still open
Yeah,
to
absolutely. Yeah, Carl, if you're watching it.
it. Dude, Carl's getting all the shout outs in this video. So we'll just do a few more here. As far as like, and this is kind of a big question, but we talk about it a lot, just like the state of like YouTube and Twitch versus like the movie industry and like just where like
buckle
entertainment and media is going. You know, the shift just in the last 5 years of like
10
just
years.
so much content creation and like everyone's like, I want to be an influencer. Everyone's like, I want to be a YouTuber. And then now like all this stuff with Kai Cenat and IRL streaming and like just there's just it's happening so fast. Like what do you see is like the future of YouTube or like even like movies or like the streaming, how it is now? Like where do you see things going or like what do you think it could look like?
Shoot, you know, that's a loaded question, but I have seen it change over the years. You know, when I first got into it, I think everyone was watching YouTube videos. I don't think there was TikTok at the time. I'm sure everyone had an Instagram or Facebook account. I feel like, you know, your normal like in-house stuff's gonna do really well. I think YouTube will stick around. I think, you know, Netflix and things like that's gonna do great. But I have already felt a little bit of a different vibe on YouTube. I just feel like long format's great. You know, there's an aspect for any viewer to watch, you know, whatever you're doing. I think it's fun to just sit and just watch someone. The live stream and stuff is super cool. I really want to get into that as well, but my challenge is I have to be tethered if I was a live stream, and I've looked into it and it seems like it's all possible. It's just I want to do it really big. I want to have like a chat in my arm and be like, and then I want to mic in my freaking mask and be like, where do y'all want to go? I'm trying to figure it out.
Rebreathers where you can actually talk.
I've figured out the mic's solution. I figured out like what mask to use would be best for it. I've talked to certain people. I have products that I have in my mind that I think would work for it all, but to logistically do it, I'm not too sure. But it would, if it was butter and smooth and I can flip it to top side with my cameraman or something, that would be incredible.
Dude,
and I would love to do that.
So sick, bro.
That'd be the most fun because I wouldn't have to edit anything, and then people would watch it live and they could rewatch it, and then they would be like, okay, it took Jake 4 hours to find that phone. Maybe you know, maybe it wasn't.
Maybe he didn't plan it.
But the challenges I have with that, because I was talking with someone I think at YouTube about it, is like, if I was live streaming and if I did come across something pretty bad, how would I be penalized? Let's just say I came across, you know, a body. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
You know, like turn my head real quick
Oh shit.
and then assess the situation. I don't know, you know. So,
Because you don't know what's gonna. I mean,
and I'm
you don't
sure
know.
there's like, you know, something that you can work around. You know, if something bad, like I don't think they're just going to delete your channel. But then again, I had a hacker get in my channel one time and they just uploaded some gambling stuff and they deleted my channel. And so I never got contacted. So I don't know. You know, it's just weird how things like that happen. Live streaming, though, would be a lot of fun to get into. I think your short format stuff, like your shorts, are going to do great no matter whether. I think that dopamine reach that you're getting, you know, just swiping, that doom scrolling, I think that's going to be around for a long time. I think fast pace is going to win. But I think, obviously, I feel like YouTube's pushing maybe for their longer regular videos. I would assume they're pushing the longer format based upon some meetings I've had with some companies I work with. But it just seems a little weird. I don't know. YouTube has told me personally they don't send your video out to every subscriber. You know, I have almost 14 million subscribers, but they're not sending it to almost 14 million subscribers, I guess. But it's just
You're
a little
like,
weird.
why not?
That's why I was like, what do you mean? And then I was like, they subscribe to, you know, get this notification, you know, of my videos. And they're like, yeah, we can't send it. I was like, Okay, I was like, that's
That
kind
makes
of
sense.
backwards, but
So what's the point? Do they have to hit the notify me thing?
no, I guess I don't even know if even if you have notifications, because I have over, I think I think I have like 1.3 million people with the notifications on, versus I have to look back at the stats, but that's a lot of people like to get a ding on their phone.
Yeah.
But when I look at the stats, it's not like it's not lining up. So I think there's different strategies and different things that you're always going to have to apply, as the years go on. But I think with that in mind, people who are starting right now would have a really good shot at maybe making it, because even if you have a ton of subscribers, it's like, I don't know, it's like you have to have a good video every time, and it has to work with this system. So there's something going on that you're going to have to figure out. And then, I'm even figuring it out as well. And, just try to replicate that success and move forward. But I think what made my stuff really good when I first started was this community of treasure hunting. Let's just say it's like a bubble. There wasn't many people in this bubble, but there were a few, but not many. But so when I upload a video, let's just say now I've got 1 million views and this bubble circulating, and then I upload another one, and now that views on that video is kind of circulating with this older video I just did. And I upload another one, and maybe those 2 or 3 videos are bringing views to a newer video. You know what I mean? It's just always like pooling, and I've got this new bubble where I'm averaging, 30 to 45 million views a month, like just naturally, creating this view cap is now increased on my channel. So I think naturally, if you're just starting out, everything is low and it's all 0, and you just want to build that view cap back up. So like if you get a banger and you can get another banger and then another one, you just keep stacking it. And I think when I first started, and I was able to use that hype, we were able to keep that going for years. And I think now there's just so many different things, and with with the hacker deleting the channels, there's so many different strategies on how to bring that view cap back up. But I don't have all the right answers. I'm kind of questioning things like you. I don't have someone at YouTube sitting by my side whispering, me the
Well,
sweet
they have
nothings.
spoken to you,
sauce.
which is more than we know. I'm
Yeah.
like, dang, you're not sending out to all the subs.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, I did a video with the Navy, and then it was the first time I met someone from YouTube, and they wanted me to be a part of it. And I was like, "You're from YouTube?" And they're like, "Yeah, just use the YouTube card." And I was like, "They got a card?" And I'm like, "Whoa, this is crazy," Yeah, it was weird to see someone from YouTube. But
That's it.
yeah, I wish I could talk to more people there, and maybe I will in the future.
Dude,
Yeah,
YouTube, come on. It's just crazy how, like I looked at one of Kai Cenat's, and he's like the biggest one, so maybe not the best example, but like he'll do like a stream for like 6 hours, and like millions of people will watch it. And I'm like, all the numbers are saying, oh, attention spans are down. They don't want to watch something for a long time. But then you look at these streams, and like these guys are streaming their life for like 6 hours at a time, and people are watching it. It's like there's a disconnect somewhere in there between like what the data is saying as far as like people's attention, and then like what they're actually consuming, and especially like Gen Z and Gen Alpha. So like, I don't know where I'm going with that as a question, but like don't you just find that interesting that the attention span seem like they're down, but people they're consuming like 3 movies at a time when they watch these streams. Like, why do you think that is?
When you're looking at everything and you're analyzing this and whatever platform, I like I said before, I look at it as like a video game, and you got these stats. The stats are these creators, and you're handpicking, the 1%. These people are incredible at what they do. They got a full team behind them. And I think when it comes to maybe viewers just hanging out, I think just the easiness of it and how fast you can maybe pull up and hang out with someone. I think the live stream is totally different because you're hanging out with someone real time. It's a total different vibe. I think your long format, I think it's just if let's just say it's 20 minutes. Like I've been talking with my team, and they suggested me to maybe post, if I was going to upload some videos, aim for 15 to 25 minutes. It can go a little longer, a little shorter, but you want more watch time. You want more minutes watched, and then YouTube will recognize that and maybe share it with other people. So maybe with a live stream, maybe just that watch time just a little bit higher, just because it's just in real life and it's real and it's happening. I mean, I think that's super neat. I don't know if it would play hand to hand with my genre, but I think it would be really incredible to try. I mean, I've done a lot of research with it, and I was actually just talking to Brandon Jacob Jordan about it the other week. I was like, dude, I even told him, I was like, you got a perfect personality for this. You should do it. And I'm like, we should do it. And he's like, you go first. I was like, okay, because I think you got to buy some pretty expensive stuff, I think. But it would be super cool. And if you could really max out and have a team, I think that could be the way to go. I think your shorts and stuff like that, you see a lot of people, I don't know if the correct term is like clip farming. I just don't want to. It's a game, and people are playing this game. They're going to do whatever they need to do to get the views and get extra money and things like that. It's just, I don't know. To me, forcing something like that and trying to manipulate it, I don't know. I just think that's kind of weird, and it's just not fun. Like, if in a perfect world, if you can upload one video a day and it just take off, that's great. But obviously people want to earn some extra money and do it. But I don't know. I just want to be organically myself and just having as much fun as possible. And if I'm sitting inside all day doing that, I don't really know.
Yeah, well, I've seen where YouTube is cracking down on some of that. I guess it is the clip
I saw
farming.
the AI stuff, and that I think that's good for creators. If someone can make a few thousand, shorts with AI or something, I don't know really how easy it is, but I'm sure it's pretty easy now. It's just it's leaving those creators at a disadvantage, but someone like me, I could go in and I could make a handful of shorts today, and just like my older ones, it could bring in a lot of views and maybe a new viewership to the channel. You get a lot of subscribers, new people checking it out. It's a good strategy for sure, but I just think the value, you just got to see what the value, like what are you trying to get out of for whatever platform, and how are you going to play that platform to give you what you want in return, with your videos and your content.
Well, there's a difference though between like you going and clipping a bunch of your own content, but like a lot of these people were using like Opus or whatever those AI things are, and clipping, like they would take someone like Ninja and clip a bunch of his things, and then like they'll have the one where like they'll have on top of it like some kind of little game happening on the other. It's like
your attention.
It's just like that's
why I want to be
completely
away
departed from the creators. Like it's
But
YouTube
there's a
doesn't want to
space
be
for
just
it.
robots,
I think there's a space for it. Obviously people are doing that, but like I said, that's kind of the vibe I was trying to get after. I think there's some more real stuff out there that people enjoy that, I'm sure, but I think there's some more real videos that people would, if I would promote, hopefully they would enjoy more. If that makes sense.
If you could give yourself advice back to like when you first started, like I guess when you first started, was that 2011 or 2015?
I guess you could just say 2011. I just made the channel. Like if someone's starting a channel and I was just trying to give myself advice, or someone brand new, it would be just to make videos for memories. That's how I did it. It's how I would do it again. I look back at all my videos just because I would re-laugh at those moments. It sounds corny, but it really wasn't about YouTube money or anything like that. Like at the time, and this is like 2011, I was just making videos for fun and showing it with my friends. Do that, number one. Do that for a few years. And if you hadn't made $100 till you're 24, you're still in line with me. So
there you go.
Just make what you have. You don't need a lot of stuff. You don't need the best mic. You don't need the best camera. If you have a phone, I had a Galaxy S3 and a GoPro I found on the river to make my videos to get to 1 million subscribers first. So, and I was like a Hero 2 or something. So you can make a lot work with barely anything. If you got an iPhone, I think that's a better camera than what I had when I first started. And then from there, it's really just storytelling and just being very consistent. If I had to really just give myself like a really big tip about like the strategic side of things, is just to be consistent, and then just I guess that's really it. Consistently just filming, consistently uploading, just as consistent as possible. And I'm if you could do 2 videos a day, do 2 videos a day. If you do 3. But like there's a line, like obviously with more quantity and quality, but just find that like line you want to ride and then go with it, but just be consistent. If I could upload a couple pieces, if I could upload like one main video on my YouTube channel a day, which would be unfeasible, but let's just say if I could do that a day along with like shorts, maybe I split that video, do my shorts, so everyone who's watching just shorts, they can watch that. That'd be great. And then if I can split that into all the other platforms as well, I would use my one content, my one video, and splice it right now as many times over and however I can to get the best outreach on all the other platforms. But if I was back in time, it was just YouTube, and I just had a one-track mind, and I just wanted YouTube, I would literally just be consistent and just share my videos and don't care too much about what people think, because you're going to get bad comments. It's going to bring you down. You're going to have bad days, and it may be harder than you ever think. But I'd also have a backup, because I didn't have a backup, but I'd have a backup just in case, so you're not 24, 25, and it didn't work out. So, but yeah, just have fun, man. I mean, even if I was talking with you guys, I don't know, I've seen some of your content and stuff, but I just have fun. You guys are doing it great. I mean, you got amazing cameras, and I just, put your heart into it. I think there's a lot of dead people, like dead vibes. And I love what I do. It's literally what I would do without dead people. It's obviously what I would do without a camera. And you just got to ask yourself is, how long can you do it for? I could be 40, 50, 60 years old doing treasure hunting videos, and I feel like that's pretty bad, eh? Like, why not?
Dude. Wagyu hot dogs.
Yeah. I'd be on my boat, my yacht, looking for treasure.
Eat dolphin.
Don't get
I
much
feel
better.
like you're like encouraging us right now, because you're like,
yeah, no,
you're
see it too.
successful, and like
go.
we're trying to carve out our place. But really, I think we're not trying to do anything. We just want to talk to people. We want to talk about movies. We want to talk about films. So it's cool to like talk about, because I think YouTube and content creation, that's such a unique part of like film and television too. Like I think it all encapsulates together, and like you are a storyteller, and so your approach to it is just unique, and it's different than how we may approach a story. We're also not diving in rivers, so it's like it's just cool to like hear your side of it. And I think you are so talented, man.
Thanks, man.
Obviously, you
you.
built an amazing community, and according to ChatGPT, you won a Visionary Award.
No, yeah.
And then a Columbus River Blast Community Award. I don't know.
I don't know about
I didn't
that.
know what those were. What was the Visionary Award? Because that sounds pretty cool, man.
Yeah, no, the Visionary Award's really, really neat. To be honest with you, I was pretty naive about it all. I didn't really know, but I was invited to go up to Newark, and they're presenting this Visionary Award at this, like, it's imagine like a scuba diving, like all these people that's been in that space. They're a little, the majority were a little bit older.
They were all jealous of you.
No, I think what they saw was like this younger guy at the time doing something different. And like in the sport of scuba diving, there really wasn't anyone that like was doing things that I was doing, and I was bringing millions of eyes, like billions of views actually on the sport. We got over a couple billion, I think, on my channel. So it was really cool to bring all this new people potentially in the sport. And I think people like companies like Patty, I've seen that, GoPro, I saw, like I had meetings with them, and like Red Bull and things like that, to see how this lifestyle could be intertwined with it all. It's just super neat. So, you know, it is wild to have been able to influence and show people all that. But, you know, anything can happen. We should just live stream this next time we talk about live streaming.
Let's
Right?
go, bro. I can't wait to see when you start live streaming.
No, I'll just be slurring too much. I'm not the best storyteller, but dude, like if I could leave y'all with like one good advice, is just have fun with it. You guys, I mean, I met my friends in the river, and I told them, I was like, dude, you guys do this, like we could travel the world and be treasure hunters together for as long as you want. Maybe, you know, because I was kind of coming up, they can do it. You guys could do it too. Anyone could do it. It's just, you gotta, what makes you different, you know, but consistency and just having fun, I think, is number one. People are going to find y'all. People will find us eventually, and you just keep going. But at the very least, you got amazing memories. You can look back at this as you get older, and it's, dude, you've made it. I mean, you got an amazing studio. You guys are, you did? No, you should be proud of yourself, man. Like, this is well more than anyone else has. And like, it, you know, I don't know where y'all's views are at or anything like that, but don't look at views as like a sense of like, you know, I guess like for you thinking that you're doing well. I mean, it just, you got to find that right platform too. You know, YouTube, I could switch to a different platform anytime. You know, we try to maximize everything, but let's just say one was like the one, you know, like I could switch anytime. So it's like, think about that. Don't be honed in on one thing, you know, see where your value is most, I guess, appreciated and valued, if that makes sense, and put in more time on that app. And
yeah, it's weird how like sometimes we get so focused on like where we think we want to go that we stop looking to see where we're at, and like appreciating, like, you know, we are sitting here doing a podcast talking to you, like this is like we're doing it right now.
well, you
like,
ain't made it if you're talking about me.
dude, just imagine if we were on that yacht with Carl eating the hot dogs, then we'd know we made it.
Call him up.
Yeah, we'll do a
Right
follow-up
after
podcast on Carl's yacht.
That would be so hilarious.
It's crazy because I had the hot. It tasted pretty normal, but it was kind of nice because you knew it was really clean. You know, I never had wagyu before, but I was like, wagyu hot dog, right? But I remember I had a hot dog bite in my mouth. I was chewing, and he's like, "You see that boat out there?" I was like, "That military boat?" I was like thinking maybe it was like his escort or something. He's like, "That's my boat too." And then he's like, "You want to go for a ride in a submarine?" I look over, I was like, "You trying to kill me?" I was like, "No way!" And then next thing you know, he helped me conquer a fear, and we got back in that submarine, and that was it was cool to do, and it was very like he treated me very nicely.
That's cool.
It was great.
What do you call wagyu and glizzy? Like, what's the combo on that
Waglizzy.
word?
Waglizzy. Honestly, if the wagyu hot dogs were a little thinner, I think I would have really enjoyed it. I'm just not the biggest I mean, I like a hot dog every now and then, but I'm not, you know, craving a hot dog all the time. But a billionaire says, "Here's a hot dog." I was like, "I'll take
Highlights
it."
of this podcast: Carl, Wagyu hot dogs, Jake saying he wants to reach through the screen and punch some of those haters, which we totally agree with.
Yeah. No,
Carl, he loves glizzies, but only if it's a wagyu.
We'll do a part
funny.
2, and we'll have another seat, and we'll just put Carl Allen for
I
like
know,
a reference.
dude.
Like, hey,
He's never gonna know how much we brought him up. Maybe
He's
watch
actually the
it.
first person I ever did a podcast with, and it was in this boat. And I remember I was so tired. I drank so much coffee, and I was like kind of wired but tired. I was like, "Do I look like a crackhead?" Like,
He's like, "No, you look great." You're
I
like,
was so nervous. Yeah, but no, apart from all that, yes, thank you so much for having me on here. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it. I think
dude.
you guys are doing some incredible stuff and just inspiring others to get out and chase their dreams. You know, this might not work for everyone, but if you put your heart and soul into it, it can work for you. Just have a backup, you know, be smart about it, but chase your dreams, have a good time, and anything's possible. If I can make a living off of treasure hunting, you know, finding stuff in the river, you guys can do anything you want, and you
That's
guys as
awesome.
well. So
Dude, I'm so fired up. You're so
Let's go.
inspirational, bro. Let's go diving
I'm ready
right
to
now.
dive.
So, okay, last thing.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
into the camera, can you just tell them to like and subscribe to
Yeah,
the Village
make
Films
sure you guys
Podcast?
block everyone. And no, if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow them along in their journey, and then make sure, you know, you come back to this video and see how we've all grown. So yeah, you never know. A couple years from now, you could be watching this video, and then they can have like 20 more videos lined up for you to watch. So make sure you subscribe to their channel. Get them up. What's your first milestone? 10,000 coming up?
1,000 would be
1,000?
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So first milestone is 1,000. Help them hit 1,000 followers. That'd be pretty incredible, man. Let's do
Let's
this
go,
thing.
dude.
Let's go.
We need you as like our coach.
All right, I'll be in the back. You got like a whistle and like, yeah.
All right. Hold on. Let's see.
Mr. President.
Hey, Carl.
Oh,
He
it's Carl.
says we can end it now. All right. Good job. That's a wrap.